Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video we're going to be looking at TradeStation and an arbitration offer. We're also going to be looking at the fight for resolution from Congress in terms of updates, and also looking at ticker symbol AMD, where there has been a huge AI update, as well as finishing off by having a look at the weekly watch list review. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So from investing.com we can see the S&P 500 and NASDAQ have hit record highs, and from Powell we can see some of his statements included news with regard to the CPI, jobs and growth, all showing potentially good numbers. So I am hoping for an interest rate cut in 2024. And from the S&P 500 we can see it has hit 5,600 points for the first time, which is an all-time high, and that is in response also to the Q&A from Powell. So hopefully tentatively good news there. And from Jim Cramer's point of view, he's has remained undefeated. 2 weeks ago he stated that he tried to buy GM over Tesla, and since then Tesla has gone up 40%. So maybe the lesson is do the opposite of what Jim Cramer states. So in terms of the overall market, we're now moving to a position of greed, so that indicates more volume and more people buying. Now let's move on to have a look at the news with regard to AMD, which was broken in our tech stock channel live. And in terms of the post, what I posted with regard to AMD is that Advanced Micro Devices have agreed to acquire Silo AI for $665 million, and AMD at time of editing was up close to 4%. So I'm very positive about AMD making hopefully all-time highs very, very soon. And finally, shout out here to Nancy Pelosi stock trader, who have stated and shared official news for the first time ever. A group of senators have announced a deal to ban Congress members from trading stocks, and this legislation is scheduled to be discussed on July the 24th. So fingers crossed this goes through. So I'm going to start by providing an update from Scott with regard to his complaint against Schwab, and what he's just posted is that he's had a 12-minute call with somebody from Schwab and laid out the legal battlefield. He's on his page 13 of his lawsuit, and it appears to be headed for at least 30 pages. So if anybody can go ahead and help out Scott with information with regard to MMTLP and Schwab, so go ahead and add some comments in his post. So some of the two key questions he's stated here for Schwab is: number one, did Schwab have valid 2-on-1s to trade MMTLP? Did Schwab oversell MMTLP, and if so, by how much? We know that TradeStation have already accepted that this is the case, and Scott has also explained the situation to Schwab with regard to RICO, and I think he's also including the issue with regard to Hilltop that has been uncovered by the MMTLP DD team. He's still not had an answer to his demand letter, and he's reminding them for now that he is a nice guy. So I do believe Scott about that. And guess who has stated in terms of an update from TradeStation is that TradeStation have filed a motion to compel arbitration and stay all further proceedings, including discovery. So in other words, they are looking to potentially stop discovery from happening, which would obviously open up all the information that required. From TradeStation here we can see the response is, which is against the plaintiff Intercoastal Waterways, that they are looking for a motion to compel arbitration and a stay for proceedings and incorporated memorandum of law. So that's what they're looking for. So let's have a look at some of the key arguments, and we can see here first of all in section 2 they are looking here basically stating that the agreement to arbitration of disputes relating to equity accounts is in the terms and conditions. They're saying it's under section 38, and they are saying the person involved in this complaint has agreed. Obviously we're talking about the small print, and when you agree to the small print. So the small print there highlighting there is section 38 of the TradeStation Securities Incorporated Customer Account Agreement for Equities, which basically says if you're applying for equities account, you acknowledge and affirm that you have read and agreed to the pre-dispute arbitration process. So that's the first thing that they've highlighted, and the other thing that they've stated here under Exhibit 9 and under section page 16 with regard to the complaint, they've stated here the Master Lender Security Agreement also contains mandatory arbitration clauses, i.e. compulsory clauses, to the customer account agreement, and it clearly states that people give up the right to sue each other in court. So in other words, they are basically saying it goes straight to arbitration, and we can see there under section 24, mandatory arbitration in capital letters. The parties agree that any dispute, controversy or claim arising from this agreement shall be subject to the mandatory arbitration provision contained in any customer account or similar agreement entered into between such parties. So that looks like basically how TradeStation are playing this. So we will have to see in terms of an update, but from my opinion, it does not seem to be looking very promising. Let's now have a look at the updates with regard to the fight for resolution from Congress. So what Meta News have posted is that Representative Eli Crane, the MMTLP community, are asking if you can join Representative Ralph Normal for the press conference with regard to MMTLP and the SEC FINRA situation. So this is in response to a post from Chad, and what Chad has stated is he has meetings with some congressmen and some Trump coalition members. Plus hopefully a press conference with a few congressmen calling out the SEC for the MMTLP fiasco. So I'm assuming they would also be looking at FINRA as well. So if you remember, Chad is one of the veterans who has joined the fight for MMTLP. I believe there are other senators and people running for Congress that are also joining the MMTLP community in their fight. So I believe that the noise is growing and people are coming on board. So finally, let's finish off by sharing with you a review of the previous week's weekly watch list, where we called out a number of stocks. These included POET, that was the best call of the week, up over 60% on the week, and a strong finish on Friday, closing up 19%. SCLX was another good call, up 48% Monday to Tuesday, and closed up 3% on the week as well, so important to take profits. AUR, that was up 6.2% on the week. ZS up 4.5% on the week. DXYZ is one we've also been watching after the dip on Monday, also up 9% on the week, so a good finish there. Uber, we also called out, up 2% on the week after Monday's dip. ECDA, that was up 4% on the week. CMND, up 10% Monday, then closed level on the week. And PBF, that was down 5% on the week. So not all calls are successful. If you would like to get a copy of the next weekly watch list, as well as a copy of our daily stock alerts, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.